Hello, my name is Peter Fitzmaurice and my student number is D00164650, and I'm going to be talking through my CA3 for sound implementation and design. So to start with, I used Paid Asset Pack as the main resource for my 3D and level. So it was called Dungeon Breaker. It was bot pack. It came with a couple of sounds as well, which some of them I kept in and others I replaced, but I also added to the pack. So another pack I used was also Dungeon Traps. So this involved this is for all the traps in the game. It had animated traps which I wanted to use, such as swinging axes or like blades shooting out of the wall. So I used those two packs. Okay, so in the dungeon pack, I use 4 scenes. So I have level 1, level 2, level 3, and main menu casual. So the one you can see here is actually level 3. This is the most detailed one. This is the one where the majority of my unique sounds are, which are for the traps. Okay. So I'm going to explain before I go into detail in all the scenes. I'm going to actually show you my audio mixer. So my audio mixer, I've got a master audio mixer, and then I've got some subcategories. So one of the subcategories is dialogue, FX, and then music. And then in them, there's some child categories. So for dialogue, there's NPC dialogue, narrator dialogue, zombie dialogue, and FX, there's trap FX. So with these groups, for the audio mixer, for example, the NPC dialogue would contain all the quest dialogue, and say there's NPC allies players, that AI where they'll just shout something like kill 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 or die 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 when they're attacking zombies. That they fall into that category. Narrative stuff such as level up, or when you complete the game they go well done. So that's kind of what falls in narrative dialogue. Zombie dialogue is stuff like the zombie idle sound, which is kind of me gurgling and kind of making zombie noises, which is just played idly, is the idle zombie sound. Trap FX, that's all the trap sounds, which you can kind of see here in the level. So the cutter traps, the blade traps, the fire trap here, spike traps, they all have different sounds and they're played and edited through this one. Music, this contains all the background music that you hear in the game for all the different scenes. So for the main menu, the background music and all the 3 levels. Okay, that's the audio mixer. Now I'm actually going to go through the actual scenes. But before I do that, I'm just going to give a general statement on my project. So a lot of my sounds are implemented via audio sources, added via prefabs. So a lot of these actually came with prefabs, such as the traps, which makes adding sounds to them a lot easier. So without further ado, I'm going to go into the main menu. Okay, so I'm going to mute the sounds, the game while I play it. So for scene 1, we've got the main menu. So the main menu has we have the background music. So that's, you'd be hearing that in the background. Obviously for this, I'm not going to have all the sounds muted so you can hear my voice. When you click these buttons, it makes a click sound. So that's that. Okay, so that's kind of the main menu. So I'm actually going to show you how I did the main menu sounds. So with main menu sounds, I went in here. This is the main menu. So I have the menu FX, and then I have to flick, click, and so actually flick sounds, I didn't manage to get them working in the end, but they were mostly implemented, but I couldn't get it to play out properly. So I kept crashing the game, so I didn't implement them in the inspector in Unity, which I'll show in a sec. So we've got menu FX, click and flick sounds. I've then got a class at the very end, a public cover, menu play one shot, so this plays it when it's played. So then in these buttons, we have them actually being played out. So here we have the options. So once you click the option buttons, you'll hear the click sound play. Same with the exit button. So I did these for most of the buttons in the main menu. I didn't do them for some of the networking buttons because I didn't see them as needing, seeing as that's not what my game is for, and that's just kind of what came with the asset pack. So that's how the menu click sounds were added. I'll show you in the inspector now. So main menu, go to the main camera. This is where I actually added the sounds. So I actually added the sounds to the main camera in the scene. So I set the click sound to temporary explosion, but I didn't actually manage to get it to work. But we have the click sound here, so the menu click sound, and then replace the menu click sound. And that's the inspector and how I added it in. And I made the main camera the audio source. Okay. Now I'm going to go to level 1. So, level 1. So, level 1 we have quite a few things. So, level 1, we have the teleporters. So, the teleporters each have a sound audio source attached to them, because they're kind of a prefab again. I have a teleport sound, and then they just go into the general FX master. I play them on awake, so this just plays it. So as soon as the scene loads, it will play this sound. I then have it loop, so it constantly reloops once the clip actually finishes. So continuous sound. I've got the priority high, so this is how loud you'll hear it. Like when you hear it over another sound, it will take kind of priority over that. So I set that to quite high because I kind of want the player to be able to know where the teleporters are. That's also why the spatial blend is nearly fully 3D, but I put it partly 2D so you can kind of hear it in the rest of the level to indicate where the teleporters are in case you wander off. Okay, so apart from that, we've got the main thing is the NPC dialogue. So this NPC here that you can kind of see, he has a lot of stuff attached to him. So I attached quests. So he gives out 2 quests and he will say some voice dialogue based on the quest you do. So I'll actually show them now. So we've got quest 1. So this is how. So it uses the test quest 1 script. So quest sound. This is what I have in the inspector. Quest sound, which is actually the end, like when you actually complete the quest for quest 1, this sound play. When you start the quest 1, this sound play. Quest 2 is set up in a familiar format again. So I'll actually show you now how I did them. And see these quest sound and quest start variables. These appear because I coded them in, and that's why they appear in the inspector, which I'll show now. So we have the quest base. So this is where I actually coded in the quest sound, the quest start that you see in the inspector. This is how I made them appear so I could actually put the sound in. And then when I actually wanted to play them, I have, here's the quest 1. So this is kind of the description of the quest. So on initializing the quest, I get the audio clip, the quest start one to play. And I get it to play at the camera main. So this means that I wanted it to play at this position. So this means it kind of makes it that if you walk away from the quest giver, he'll get quieter. If you get closer, he gets louder, which I thought was a nice thing to do. So it makes sense when you walk away, it will get quieter. If you're talking to somebody, like you won't hear them as loud. So that's why I use camera. And then when we actually reward them, did a very similar thing. Again, I had a reward class. Again, it was played out. I played it out here. Again, quest 2 is very similar. It's done pretty much the same way, as you can see here. Okay, now we'll go on to the rest. So I have the crates also. So when the crates are hit, a sound will play. So box hit 1, box hit 2, and box break when it actually gets blown up, broken. So this was actually already coded in the game, so I actually kind of kept it in because I quite liked the sound. Okay, so we have the teleporters as well. They each have a unique sound. Again, added here via the FX. The trees were meant to have a wind sound, but I didn't actually do that because in the end. Okay, so now I'm going to actually go to level 2, and I'll explain more in level 2 of some of the scenes. So, level 2, here we have. So in level 2, NPC allies will actually spawn. They will each kind of say something like die, 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 or kill, kill, kill. So they'll say that just at kind of intervals. It's kind of their idle chat, and lots of zombies will also spawn in this level. So that's one new thing that's kind of will play in there. Again, these were just added to prefab. So on my NPC, all the characters, so when the zombie gets hit, zombie hits plays. But I added an idle to all of them, so you can hear them constantly. So this is for the zombies. Set the priority to quite low, just for I didn't want, because the zombies are just quite a number of them, I didn't want them to just override a lot of the other sounds. But I did set the max distance quite high so you can hear them. I also use linear roll-off because logarithmic roll-off doesn't seem to work great. Okay. Yeah, so that's how I did the characters, NPCs, same way with the NPC ally script. Okay, so another thing I have is when a box breaks, an item can spawn out of them, such as one of these potions, gold, pickup, shield, or sword, etc. So with these, again, there were some unique sounds. So if I go to pick up on the prefabs, this is where I add some of them. So we have an active potion, for example. So with this, I played the potion sound that came with. But then I also recorded another potion sound. So that was for the pickup of the potion. So with the other potion sound, when you drank the potion, I wanted it to play a different sound. So to do that, I actually programmed that. So on potion healing, here, I have a public audio clip sounds. I then play it. If the sound equals true, I play it, and I play it at the position of where it was. So if I have a potion on me, and then I click on it in the game, and then I drink it, it will heal me, and then it will play this sound. The torches actually work similar in this game. If you walk into a torch, instead of healing you, it will damage you, and it will play the sound at that position as well. Okay. So a lot of these have kind of pickup sounds. So shield pickup, this is something I got a free sound, and I edited slightly. We have the fire pickup sound, sword pickup sound. It's just the general get item one. And then we have the axe pickup again, general. But then we have potion pickup or gold pickup. And there's the shield pickup or sword pickup are kind of different. Like the sword pickup has a different sound equipped to it. So sound pickup equals sword pickup. So that's kind of how these sounds were done in this game. This one. Okay, so that's pretty much this one. So I'll go on to level 3 now. And this is where a lot of my sounds were actually done in. Obviously, all of them have background music in them. So I'll give an overview of the level. So here you can see the actual level itself. So win this level, you start here and you have to get to the end. So some of the sounds include torches, obviously, that I just mentioned. But there's also traps, like these swinging axes that you can see here. So the traps in the game I got from this pack called Dungeon Traps. The Dungeon Traps came with actually prefabs. Okay, and with the Great Axe Trap, for example, prefab, I attached an audio source to them. So as you can see here, Great Axe Trap, and then I put it in the output of the Trap FX, so I can actually edit that via the audio mixer if I wish. Priority, most traps are set to 70, this so they don't override stuff like the background music. And I've also got them in 3D spatial blend, and then I've got the minimum max distance to this 3 and 4. So when I actually click on, you can see the two circles. One's the minimum distance, the smaller circle, and the other one's the maximum distance. So minimum distance, I'll hear it the loudest, as loud as possible, and max is where it will start getting quieter. I didn't want to get to too much quieter the distance wise, because the Axe Trap, for example, is quite a quiet sound anyway. Okay, so all the traps are set up like that, so I won't go through all the other traps such as these ones and the swords, because they're all set up like that. Another interesting thing in level 3 now, moving on, is the wind cube. So this is another thing I programmed. So this is a trigger box that is at the end. So this is how the wind condition is played. So when a player walks into here, I've attached an audio source to this is trigger, box slider is trigger. I've made it the end game victory state. I put it in the narrator dialogue. I've set it to quite high because I want this to be played. I also do not want it to loop. So it's only played once, basically. So that's a one-off shot, once every time you walk in. I set the max and min distance. I left it at the logarithmic roll-off because it actually worked quite well for this one. I need to set it to a rigid body so it wouldn't actually move the trigger box. If I don't freeze the positions, the box actually moves. So I'll actually show you how I coded that. So if I go into here and I go into the wind condition, so here's how I did the wind condition. So I had an audio source, as you can see here. I initialize it again in the initialization in the start. I then have a function called onTriggerEnter. So this is a built-in Unity function. When you check box slider is to this, tick the onTrigger function, you can use this function. I called the collider wind cubes, and then I checked if the collider, the player walks into the collider. This is necessary because then if I didn't have this, the sound would play constantly when, say, a zombie walked in because they have a collider. So that's why I needed it to be the player tag. So that's how I played that one, and then I just played it out. So that's all for this screencast. Thanks for listening.